Heard about it at school, ended up in the hospital. Yo, what's up? It's someone that's someone, and welcome back to today's report. Today's report was sent in by Papa Cough. When this happened, 2020. The drug used, Diphenhydramine, at a dose of 1200 milligrams. The route of administration, orally. Gender, male. Weight, 140 pounds. Age, 15. Height, 6'1". First prior experience, he notes, heroin, meth, weed, DXM, and a few other drugs I can't think of. For his set, he notes, stole 2 packs of Benadryl and waiting for my father to get off work. And the setting, his house. Alright, welcome to another Delirium report. We got a classic DPH trip that went wrong. This is a tale many of you may be able to relate to, with the recent attention Benadryl tripping has received, that is. But Papa Cough casually learns that you could trip on Benadryl from a friend at school one day. At first he doesn't believe it, but does some basic research and finds you can get a trip from it. And by basic, I do mean very basic. It seems that he just got enough information that it can cause a trip. Not any information on dosing or health risk. Because of this, he casually downs a box of Benadryl, which is 600 milligrams. Then he doesn't feel very much while he's still coming up, so he gets impatient and downs another one, leading to a 1200 milligram trip for his first time ever. He experiences an abundance of delirium. This includes lots of auditory hallucinations, but also lots of confusion and seeing people that aren't there. He even ends up blacking out. Needless to say, the trip was far more than what he was looking for, and he gets caught up with his dad later on, where they then go to the hospital. It was a heavy learning experience for Papa Cough, as this report highlights how important research is when it comes to substance use. But I'm sure you'll enjoy this report, so without further ado, let's dive right into this. So here it goes. I first heard about Benadryl tripping from my friends at school when I was at lunch. I heard one of my friends say, "Did you guys know you can trip on Benadryl?" I said, "There's no way you can trip on Benadryl. It's sold in stores." My friend responded, "Yeah, you can. Look it up." I thought my friend was completely trying to bullshit me and make me OD or something. So after I got home from school, I started looking into it, and I found out you actually can trip on Benadryl because it has diphenhydramine in it, and it causes delirium effects. Now that I look back at it, I definitely should have researched the drug a whole lot more and found the perfect dosage. But it's too late now. I didn't know too much about the drug or doses besides you can trip on it. I didn't look into it that much at all. So the next day, me and my dad went to Walmart to grab some groceries, but I wandered off and stole 2 packs of 24 Benadryl pills. I planned on tripping when my dad went to work, so I popped them right after he left. This is where the trip report starts. 4 p.m. I grabbed a glass of water and went to the bathroom to pop a pack of Benadryl. I ate a bowl of cereal just in case my stomach hurt from eating so many pills. This was also a mistake because it didn't hit me fast enough, so I thought it wouldn't work. So then I redosed. I'll get into that later. 5 p.m. Wasn't feeling anything at all, so I thought it wasn't going to kick in, and decided to grab the second pack of Benadryl and pop it like a dumbass. Again, I did not know the dosages at all. 6 p.m. This is when shit starts getting weird. I'm laying back in bed, chilling, then I decided to look around to see if anything was happening yet. So I started staring at my dresser. The patterns of wood in the dresser looked pretty cool because they were moving around, so I kept staring for a while. I can't remember how long, maybe 10 minutes. Then I looked at the vent above my door because my bed faces towards the door, and the vent began to shapeshift into a cinder block. I was staring at it for a while, wondering why there would be a cinder block on the ceiling. I finally snapped out of it after staring at it for a few minutes. I turned on my phone and looked back at the cinder block, and it was gone. It had turned back into a vent at this point. I was 100% sure I was tripping, so I just put my headphones on, chilled back, and watched YouTube. 7 p.m. I am still watching YouTube. I am hearing voices, like my grandparents calling my name, so I yell, "What?" multiple times before I realize it's just a hallucination, and then I think I just look stupid now. So I just laid back down and went back to watching YouTube. A few minutes later, I looked up from my phone and see my dad appear from thin air and walk towards my dresser. Then he began staring at the wall. So I asked, "Dad, what the hell are you doing?" He didn't say a word. he just stood still, staring at the wall. I looked at my phone, looked back up, and he was gone. Vanished. Then I realized that he went to work 3 hours ago, so I knew it was a hallucination, but it was so real. 8 p.m. At this point, I blacked out, and shit starts hitting the fan, so I only have splits of memories. I woke up from the blackout, and I was on my couch in the living room, staring at the ceiling. I kept doing it because the ceiling kept twitching and breathing. It was so cool. Then I stood up, walked in the kitchen because my grandma was in there, cooking something. So I walked up to her and started handing her things in my hand that weren't really there. I have no idea what I was handing her, but I was seeing something. At this point, I noticed the geometrical patterns on the curtains and walked over to them. I was trying to peel off the patterns on the curtains because I thought they were stickers, and I really looked like a dumbass. Then I blacked out again. 9:30 to 10 p.m. This is when shit starts really hitting the fucking fan. My memory began to fade in, and I woke up from the blackout. I was sitting in a chair in the kitchen with no clothes on. I had no idea this entire time I was walking around naked. But before I blacked out, I was going to take a shower. So I guess that's when the DPH really smacked my ass. I was sitting at the kitchen table, and my dad is here. It's 9 p.m., and he just got off work. So he was at the table with me, and I was wondering what the hell was going on. Why am I naked, and why is my dad and my grandma here staring at me at the table? My dad kept asking me what did I take and how much of what I took. I just told him Benadryl, and I took 2 boxes. He looks at me like I'm about to fucking die. He runs in my grandparents' room, grabs their heart rate test machine, and puts the little strap around my arm. My heart is beating so fucking fast, he thinks I'm ODing or about to. My father grabs me a glass of water because I'm dehydrated. I couldn't hold the glass still at all. Then he said, "You're definitely going to the hospital now." When he found out about me tripping and talking about going to the hospital, it just made my heart race even more, like it was about to explode. So he grabs some clothes for me and tries to help put them on me for the hospital. This time, I knew I was completely fucked. No way of getting out of this one. My father said the reason he knew I was tripping was because when he walked inside the house, I was sitting on the couch naked, with my mouth wide open, just staring blank at the ceiling. 10:30 to 11 p.m. We are on the way to the hospital. I have no memory of the ride to the hospital, but I do remember when I stepped out of the car and walked inside. We walked inside, and I saw somebody through the glass, so I waved at them and said, "Hey, what's up?" Everybody looked at me crazy. I'm pretty sure this was just my own reflection. So we walk into this little room where they're checking me in to see what's wrong with me and stuff before they start asking me weird questions to see if I'm coherent. I see a reflection in the glass on the door, and it looks like somebody is sitting next to me wearing the same pants as me. So I was going to talk to them and say, "Hey man, we're wearing the same pair of pants." But when I leaned over to say that, I saw myself and realized it was just myself in the reflection. I was pretty bummed out. So the nurses walked me into this room, and I lay down on this hospital bed. I'm chilling watching TV, and I still hear voices talking to me that aren't there. So I couldn't tell if it was nurses, or my father, or if it wasn't real. So everything that anybody said to me, I just ignored. So I didn't look stupid, even though I already do, because I'm at the hospital for popping like 50 bunnies. They began taking blood samples from me to see what the hell I was on. They put the needle in my arm, took blood, and for some reason, I thought they left the needle in my arm the whole time. So I was tripping out, asking everybody in the room, why the fuck did they just leave a needle inside my arm? Because I could physically feel the needle. Like, it was inside my vein, and every time I moved my arm, it scraped the inside of my veins, even though it wasn't in my arm. So after all this shit, we ride back home, and that's that. I really hope you guys enjoyed my first trip report on diphenhydramine. I'm never touching this shit again. It just turns you into a mental institution patient. Thanks for listening. Heart.